the traditional foods of Peru. I was going to call this section Iconic Foods, but then I decided that it's such a matter of opinion what are iconic foods. So instead, I'm going to stick with my traditional foods, and I'm going to stick with some of the choices I have made. So clearly, sandwiches are a big part of Peruvian food. I kind of am going through the day in my explanation of traditional Peruvian foods. Sandwiches, or sanguches, because of course they make their word their own in Castilian Spanish. Sandwiches are a big part of the day, and quite often they start off breakfast with a triple, which is a triple-decker sandwich. But they also will have these sandwiches quite often in miniature versions for tea at between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. So other things that they'll eat for breakfast are oatmeal or a wheat meal. They will have tamales, and they can even have ceviche for breakfast. Ceviche is best served earlier in the day when it's fresh from the fishermen, between breakfast and late lunch, so it would be served usually no later than 6 p.m. is what I would say. So anywhere from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. you can have your ceviche. And ceviche, of course, involves the cooking of the fish with lime juice. And a good ceviche clasico the fish will have sort of a whitish color because there'll be a white fleshed fish, and then it will be stirred enough with the lime juice to make it turn white and get that leche de tigre, which is tiger's milk, which is the juice from that. There are, of course, many influences in traditional Peruvian food, as I mentioned in the section on people, with all the people who have contributed to the mix of Peruvians in today's society. They have also brought their food cultures, so you get the excellent fish slicing traditions of the Japanese. You get the stir frying for the national dish, for example, Lomo saltado, or I think the people's most favorite dish. From the Chinese, the stir-frying, Lomo saltado is stir-fried steak. And then, of course, you get all the other influences. And another thing, too, that is wonderful about Peruvian food is that you can always get palta added to it. So avocado there is called palta. Peruvians will know what you're saying if you ask for aguacate, but they would never ever use the word aguacate. Aguacate is a Mesoamerican word for the testicle sac. So palta it is, which probably means the same thing in Quechua. This is a Quechua word, but I don't know. I'm not a Quechua expert. So many traditional foods will often be things that are very comforting, like deep-fried foods or foods in stews and soups. Peruvians actually love that sort of thing. I did not actually have that many soups and stews while I were there, so when I was looking through the photos, I didn't find that many. One of my favorite dishes is causa, which the legend is that it was a dish invented in the 19th century by women trying to support their men. My favorite dish is probably papas a la huancaína, and huancaína is a kind of sauce. There are many foods, of course, as in any culture, that are eaten by the common man, I guess, by poor people, and many of the best and most delicious dishes are actually created out of necessity, as we know from other cultures. So delicious dishes like soup, dishes where you add an egg to it, it always makes it better. Every dish is eaten, almost every dish will have, it's very normal in Peru to eat potatoes and rice. After all, a potato is a vegetable. There are 3,000 kinds of potatoes, and they are a tuber, but that doesn't stop people. So you would definitely want as many kinds of starch as you can. So you want to have rice, You want to have, maybe you want to have your meat deep fried in some sort of a batter, and then you could also have pasta and potatoes and fried yuca. There are dishes in the newer, what I would call the newer traditions. For example, there's a dish called aeropuerto, which is airport, which means that everything lands on it. And that is true. And there are other dishes that involve that concept. There's also a dish called mostrito, which is the wonderful combination of the tradition of pollo a la brasa, which is rotisserie chicken, on top of fried rice, or chaufa, which is what one can get, fried rice, a dish that one can get from the Chinese tradition in a fried rice house, a chifa. And I would also say that there are an amazing number of snacks. Not that I snacked that much, but whenever I would go into these little bodegas, I was amazed at how many different kinds of carbohydrate snacks one could buy. And I don't think I included a picture of some of the snacks that have really fun names, like there's one called King Kong or King Kong. It's basically a giant caramel triple sandwich type of sweet snack. And the favorite dessert, of course, of Peru is picarones, or maybe Suspiro limeno, which is the most romantic name, the sigh of a person from Lima. And the cookie, of course, is the alfajor. I hope you have something sweet while you're there.